October 12th, 2023, began like any other in Harmony Creek. The air was crisp, the leaves just starting to turn, and the town was waking up to another peaceful day, unaware of what was to come. Emily Rose, 16, sat at the kitchen table, finishing her homework with a quiet determination. She carefully packed her sketchbook and pencils, her mind already wandering to the park where she loved to draw. She smiled at her mother, promising, as she always did, to be back before dark. It was a routine exchange, one that felt safe and familiar. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, a subtle unease crept into the Rose home. The golden light faded, replaced by long shadows and growing worry. Sarah, Emily's mother, called her daughter's phone. The call rang and rang, then went straight to voicemail. She tried again, her hands trembling, but there was still no answer. David, her husband, tried to reassure her, telling her that Emily was probably just caught up in her art. But Sarah's instinct screamed that something was wrong. Minutes stretched into hours. The ticking clock grew louder in the silence. By 9 p.m., panic had set in, and the house felt unbearably empty. The Roses grabbed flashlights and drove to the park, calling Emily's name into the chilly night air, their voices echoing off empty swings and silent trees. There was no sign of her. No friends had seen her, and her favorite bench sat empty beneath the streetlight. The reality hit them with crushing force. Emily was missing. The world seemed to tilt, and time slowed to a crawl. Neighbors, hearing the news, joined the frantic search, flashlights sweeping the darkness, voices calling out in hope and fear. Every corner of the park, every winding path, every bush and shadow was searched in vain. The night grew colder, and hope began to slip away. With each passing hour, exhaustion set in. Hope faded, replaced by a growing sense of dread that settled over everyone. The night that had started in calm and comfort had become a living nightmare, shattering the peace of Harmony Creek. The search for Emily Rose had begun in earnest. Police and volunteers gathered, determined but fearful, as the town's innocence slipped away. The Rose family's world was shattered in a single evening. Grief and disbelief mingled in the silence of their home. Their daughter was gone, and the ordinary rhythms of life, dinner, laughter, conversation, were lost in the void she left behind. The community's sense of safety vanished with her. Neighbors whispered in fear, locking doors that had always been left open. The search pressed on through the night, desperation growing with every hour. The woods and fields echoed with calls for Emily. Emily's absence was a void no one could fill. Her sketchbook lay untouched on her bed, a silent reminder of all that was lost. The Roses clung to hope, holding each other tightly, but fear was overwhelming, threatening to consume them. As dawn approached, the town braced for what the morning would bring. The air was thick with tension and unanswered questions. The nightmare was only beginning, and Harmony Creek would never be the same again. The first call to police came just before 10 p.m., shattering the quiet of the night with a sense of dread that would only grow. Officers arrived to find Sarah and David in anguish, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty as they clung to hope for their missing daughter. The officers asked if Emily might have run away, a suggestion Sarah fiercely rejected, her voice trembling but resolute. "My daughter would not run away. Something is wrong," she insisted, her conviction unwavering even as doubt lingered in the room. Police explained that most missing teens return quickly, trying to reassure the family, but the Roses knew this was different. Emily would never just disappear. Sarah provided every detail she could think of. Emily's clothes, her friends, her recent photos, even the smallest habits that made her unique. She repeated. This isn't a rebellious teen. She was excited for her art class, studying for a test, making weekend plans. Emily had so much to look forward to. The family's certainty clashed with the police's cautious approach, creating a growing tension in the room. For the Roses, every minute mattered. Each tick of the clock felt like an eternity, their anxiety mounting with every passing second. They felt dismissed, forced to fight for urgency. Their pleas for immediate action met with bureaucratic hesitation. Their daughter was out there, needing help, and the thought of her alone in the darkness was unbearable. They refused to wait and see. Instead, they took matters into their own hands, determined to search every corner themselves. The family's terror grew as the night dragged on, their hope flickering but never extinguished. The police's slow response only deepened their frustration, making them feel more alone in their fight. The Roses would not rest until everyone searched for Emily with the same urgency, rallying neighbors and friends to join the effort. Their fight for Emily had just begun, and they would stop at nothing to bring her home. By morning, Emily's disappearance was the town's crisis. Neighbors, friends, and strangers gathered at the Rose home asking, "How can we help?" Search parties fanned out, combing parks and woods. Volunteers plastered the town with flyers of Emily's smiling face. Social media exploded. Find Emily Rose trended, her story spreading far beyond Harmony Creek. The community's support gave the Roses hope. Interviews revealed Emily was loved by all. No hidden troubles, no secret life. The mystery deepened, and so did the town's resolve. The search was about more than finding Emily. It was about protecting the innocence of Harmony Creek. The town's unity became its strength. Every effort, every share, was a plea for Emily's safe return. The community refused to give up. Hope and determination filled every corner of Harmony Creek. 3 long days passed with no sign of Emily, and each sunrise brought only more questions and growing fear. The town's hope, once bright, faded with every hour. In its place, a heavy dread settled over Harmony Creek, casting a shadow on every face. On the 4th day, city workers made a chilling discovery: a duffel bag, half buried in mud, lying in a drainage ditch 5 miles from Emily's home. Inside, they found Emily's sketchbook, pages smudged and torn, and her familiar gray hoodie, stained and damp. Most haunting of all was her silver rose bracelet, a gift from her mother, now evidence in a growing nightmare. The discovery shattered what little hope remained. This was no longer just a missing person case, but something far more sinister. Emily's belongings, discarded in a lonely, overgrown spot, pointed unmistakably to a violent crime. The innocence of the town was lost in that moment. The search for Emily transformed overnight. Now it was a search for her killer, and for justice. Grief and horror swept through Harmony Creek. Flyers that once pleaded for help became makeshift memorials, covered in flowers and messages of love. The Facebook page, once filled with hope, now overflowed with sorrow and condolences from friends and strangers alike. For the Roses, the confirmation was devastating. Their world collapsed in a moment, leaving only heartbreak behind. Their last fragile hope was gone, replaced by a grief too deep for words. But even in the depths of their pain, a new resolve began to form within the family. They would not rest until justice was served for Emily. The town's focus shifted. No longer searching for a missing girl, they now searched for answers, for truth, and for the person responsible. The heartbreak of Harmony Creek turned into determination. Neighbors, friends, and strangers united, vowing to support the Roses and help the investigation. The nightmare had reached a new, darker chapter, casting a pall over every corner of the town. The Rose family's pain was now shared by all, binding the community together in their grief and their quest for justice. The search for truth began in earnest, with detectives and townspeople alike refusing to give up. Harmony Creek would not rest. Together they would face the darkness, determined to find answers and bring peace to Emily's memory. The duffel bag turned the investigation into a homicide case. Forensics scoured the scene. Detectives re-examined every clue. A break came from a local electronics store. A nervous young man bought a burner phone the night Emily vanished. Security footage showed his face, grainy but clear enough. Cell tower data matched the phone's path to Emily's last known locations. The buyer became the prime suspect. When detectives showed the footage at Emily's school, students recognized him. Jason Miller, a 19-year-old former classmate. Jason was quiet, a loner, but no one suspected him of violence. He lived just blocks from the Roses. The suspect wasn't a stranger, but someone the town knew. The trail led not to an outsider, but to a familiar face hiding in plain sight. The investigation closed in. Armed with evidence, detectives brought Jason Miller in. He denied everything at first, but the evidence was overwhelming. Security footage, cell data, and the burner phone's path cornered him. Under pressure, Jason confessed. He developed an obsessive crush on Emily. She'd turned him down. On the night she vanished, he approached her again. When rejected, he snapped. The crime was impulsive, born of rage and entitlement. In panic, he hid her body and tried to cover his tracks. His confession was chillingly emotionless. The town was stunned. The killer was one of their own. Grief turned to anger and betrayal. The community's trust was shattered. The search for a villain ended with a neighbor. Harmony Creek's heart broke all over again. The truth was more devastating than anyone imagined. The darkness had been close to home all along. Jason Miller pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. The courtroom was packed for sentencing. Sarah Rose's victim impact statement was powerful. She spoke of the void Jason created, the laughter and dreams stolen. Her words were not vengeful, but a testament to their loss. Jason was sentenced to life without parole. Justice was served, but peace was elusive. The town struggled to heal. Suspicion and sadness lingered. Parents held their children tighter. Neighbors eyed each other warily. Harmony Creek's strong banners became prayers for healing. Vigils and memorials tried to mend the town's spirit. The Roses faced a new struggle, living without Emily. Grief was ever present, but so was community support. They had a choice: be consumed by loss or honor Emily's memory. The journey to healing was just beginning. The town's innocence was gone, but its resilience remained. In their grief, Sarah and David Rose found purpose. They founded the Emily Rose Foundation to support families of missing persons and promote youth safety. The foundation's first project, Emily's Kits, provided resources for families in the critical first 48 hours. The Roses wanted to spare others the chaos they endured. They also began speaking at schools, sharing Emily's story and teaching about safety and healthy relationships. Their message was one of hope and prevention, not fear. Each year, the Lanterns for Emily Memorial brings the town together. Hundreds gather in the park, releasing lanterns into the night sky. Each lantern is a message of love and remembrance. The event is a symbol of resilience and unity. Emily's legacy became one of hope, not horror. The foundation turned tragedy into a force for good. 2 years later, Emily's memory is woven into Harmony Creek. Her face now graces the Foundation's website, not missing posters. The park features a memorial bench in her honor. The town lost innocence, but gained unity and vigilance. Emily's story taught hard lessons about trust and safety. Neighborhood watch programs and stronger community ties emerged. The Foundation's work spread beyond Harmony Creek, helping families nationwide. Sarah and David became advocates, building hope from tragedy. Every October, lanterns rise in Emily's memory, a symbol of love and resilience. The town chose to respond to darkness with light. Emily's legacy is hope, action, and enduring love. Her story is a tragedy, but also a testament to the human spirit. The light she left behind continues to shine.